So this is the overturning about the toe of retaining wall and sliding of retaining wall. Now the sliding is taking place because the poor friction between the base slab and the soil part. So to make the base slab stronger for the sliding condition, one more element is provided and that element is known as shear key. That element is known as shear key. So what is this shear key? Shear key is one element which is provided below of the base slab and which will serve as a lock and key uh, portion for the cantilever retaining wall. So that shear key is again a reinforced concrete element which is provided as a beam below the base slab throughout the length of the retaining wall, and that will resist the friction of the retaining wall by interlocking the base slab with the soil part itself. So if this is the wall, the stem part, heel part and toe part, and this is the length view, then this shear key is provided below this stem part in continuation with the base slab itself, like this, and this is also provided throughout the length of the retaining wall, throughout the length of the retaining wall. If you have remember the video I have shown you where you can see the shear wall, which is a kind of RC beam provided below the base slab to resist the shearing effect or the sliding effect of retaining wall. Now this soil pressure distribution is done. How to get P maximum and P minimum value? So that calculation is mentioned over here. And this will give the P maximum value. This will give the P minimum value. To check whether the uplift pressure is acting on your retaining wall or not, for that the condition is that your Pmax is always less than safe bearing capacity of soil, means maximum uplift pressure should always below the safe bearing capacity of soil, so that will not lead the failure of the base slab due to the uplift pressure of soil. And second thing, the P minimum value, that is minimum pressure value, that should not more than zero, that should more than the zero value, means your P minimum value may have zero value or positive value but not the negative value. The disadvantage if you get P minimum value as negative means your pressure distribution diagram will change from positive to negative, and in that case what will happen to your structure? This is your P maximum, this one is the P minimum value. The standard practice is standard value is where P maximum is maximum and here minimum value is greater than 0, positive or greater than 0. And this is your uplift pressure. This one is your uplift pressure. Now if something happen where your P minimum value may have the 0 value, so this is P maximum and this is P minimum, and this minimum value is 0. So these two cases applicable. These two cases are applicable for retaining wall. But the third case is where the P maximum value but the P minimum value is negative, because this will give the positive and negative kind of diagram. So this is the case where this is P maximum, but the P minimum value is negative, so that will cross your line. So this P minimum value is negative. Right. Now due to this negative value, what will happen? Up to this portion, your wall may have the chances to have the tension forces, and due to the tension forces your wall may fail in this region. ये region में wall fail हो सकता है. यहाँ पे ऊपर आपका wall होगा, retaining wall. So in this region there are chances to failure of your retaining wall due to the tension created at this point. Right. So these two cases are applicable, positive or zero value, but this is not allowed for the stability point of view. So how to get this value? The calculation is mentioned over here. Now this one is the deformation of each and every part of your cantilever retaining wall. See over here this figure. This is the cantilever retaining wall. This blue color triangle is active pressure. This blue color bottom arrows, that is your soil mass which is acting on the heel part. This triangle is the uplift pressure diagram. And this T shape is the weight of the retaining wall. So as I explained earlier, the governing force which will lead the deformation or instability of retaining wall is the active pressure, then the soil mass, and uplift pressure. And who will resist this? The weight of the retaining wall will resist that forces. So now the deflection shape of retaining wall is somewhat like this for each and every part. Due to this active pressure, this stem part is behave like a cantilever which is fixed at the base slab and free at the top, and the behavior of cantilever is like this. So आपको ऐसा एक deflection shape होगा stem का. Simultaneously, the heel part will deform like this. यहाँ पे ऐसा deform होगा heel part, जहाँ पे मेरा cursor है. So this will deform like this, and simultaneously the toe will deform like this. Right. So this is the deformation. This dotted line is the deformation of cantilever retaining wall. So the deformation of cantilever retaining wall is like this, where this is the stem part deformed. Then this is the deformation of toe part. And this one is the deformation of heel part. Right. So here if you can see, this is the behavior of hogging, where tension will created at this point and compression at this point. This is the behavior of sagging for the toe part. So tension will be at bottom and compression will be at top. This heel part behavior is like a hogging. So tension will be at top part and compression will be at bottom part. Right. So now depend on this deflection behavior due to the load, you need to provide the reinforcement accordingly as per the tension reinforcement and compression reinforcement. Because compression is easily taken care by the reinforcement. So there is no requirement of providing reinforcement where the compression force is acting. But yes, for the tension you need to provide the reinforcement for the tension side. So when you will design the retaining wall, cantilever retaining wall, the reinforcement that you are going to provide, main reinforcement that you are going to provide in stem part, as this is the tension, this part is tension for the stem part, then the main reinforcement for the stem is at this right side. Then this toe part is facing tension at bottom. So for the toe part, main reinforcement will be at the bottom. For the heel part, tension is at top. That's why the main reinforcement for tension is the main tension reinforcement is provided at the top. So this all three are the main reinforcement, or you can say the tension reinforcement for cantilever retaining wall, depend on the tension or depend on the deflection of sagging and hogging. So here this is the tension compression, so main reinforcement at the tension side. ये side आपकी tension में आ रही है, so that's why it is this side is your tension side. तो यहाँ पे आपने main reinforcement डाला. At toe, this bottom side is your tension side, so यहाँ पे आपने reinforcement डाला. For heel, this is your tension side, तो आपने ऊपर reinforcement डाला. Right, so this is the main reinforcement provided in cantilever retaining wall. But for the equal distribution of force and for the deflection condition, you need to provide minimum reinforcement also into the retaining wall, and that minimum reinforcement, or you can say the other direction reinforcement also you need to provide in the compression zone. So फिर हम डिज़ाइन करेंगे उसमें हम यहाँ पर भी रेनफोर्समेंट प्रोवाइड करने वाले हैं. वी विल प्रोवाइड रेनफोर्समेंट एट बॉटम ऑल्सो, वी विल प्रोवाइड रेनफोर्समेंट टो के टॉप में ऑल्सो. सो दिस इज द रेनफोर्समेंट फॉर द कैंटिलीवर रिटेनिंग वॉल. हियर ऑल्सो यू कैन सी द स्टेम. ये स्टेम पे कौन सा लोड आ रहा है, सो दैट स्टेम इज डिफ्लेक्टिंग. स्टेम इज हैविंग द लोड ऑफ एक्टिव प्रेशर एंड दैट्स व्हाई दिस विल डिफ्लेक्ट लाइक दिस. Heel slab, why heel slab is deflecting? Because heel slab is having the soil mass above that, so that will lead to the deflection as well. The uplift pressure from the bottom, that will lead to the deflection of the heel part. So stem के लिए आपको कौन सा force मिल रहा है to for the deflection? For stem deflecting due to active pressure. stem deflect हो रहा है active pressure की वजह से. Heel is deflecting due to this soil mass. यहाँ पे जो ऊपर जो soil mass है ये W3 वाला soil mass है वो, and this pressure value from the bottom, uplift pressure, that will lead to the hogging failure, hogging deflection of the heel. and ये जो toe part है, toe part में कौन सा force आ रहा है? toe part is having only the uplift pressure from this side, and that uplift pressure is in terms of P, and that will lead to the deflection of your toe part. Right, and this is showing over here also. This arrow shows that stem is deflecting due to active pressure. This arrow is showing heel is deflecting due to downward pressure plus uplift both, and this toe slab is deflecting due to the uplift pressure at this region. And due to that the main reinforcement are showing over here. This is the stem reinforcement at the right side. Heel is having top main reinforcement, toe is having bottom main reinforcement. So this is the proper way of understanding the behavior of the cantilever retaining wall. The very first, how many types of loads are acting. So loads are acting in terms of active pressure, and the passive pressure is generated in the opposite side. Then due to the proportioning of retaining wall, means once you are providing the dimension to heel slab, toe slab, the thickness and all together, the force will be the weight of the retaining wall itself, and two more pressures are regenerated, that is the P maximum and P minimum. The stability analysis is totally depend on all these parameters: active pressure, passive pressure, weight, P max and P minimum. Depend on that you can check whether the retaining wall is safe against overturning, safe against sliding, and within the uplift pressure that you are going to check. Once you check that your retaining wall is safe against all these failure criteria, then after you are going to design the element in terms of stem element, toe element and heel element. For stem element, what you required which type of load is acting on stem, which will lead this type of deflection. So for stem element, the type of load which is leading the deflection is active pressure. So you are going to do active pressure calculation, you are going to find the moment and the reinforcement. Same way for heel portion, how many loads are acting on heel. So load is heel is facing load of the soil mass above that and the pressure below of the soil. So due to these two pressure, how the moment is generated, that you are going to find, and the reinforcement, and main reinforcement you are going to provide at the top for the heel part. Same way for toe is facing only the forces from the bottom, and due to that what is the moment generated, and that due to that moment the reinforcement are provided at the bottom because tension is at bottom. So this is the design of retaining wall, but the before starting the design you must understand about this behavior of retaining wall and how the wall is deflect, so that will be easy to understand or to design the wall. So, what are the part type steps for the design of cantilever retaining wall? Very first is fixation of base width, means to decide the dimension of retaining wall. The for the design purpose, you required only the height of soil mass to be retained. That is the only parameter you required from the client. That what will be the height of soil mass that is to be retained by this retaining wall. All other things as a designer you are going to do by yourself. So this is the fixation of base width, means the proportioning of cantilever retaining wall. Then design of stem, design of heel, design of toe. If required, then you are going to provide the shear key also. The separate design is there for the shear key. And this is the step. And again, this fixation of base width in connection with the stability analysis also. So this fixation of base width with stability analysis, once you get your wall is stable against all these three forces, three failure, then you can go with the design part, not before that. So write down this data. Design a cantilever retaining wall. We are going to do T type of cantilever wall to retain earth for a height of 4 meter. The backfill is horizontal. The density of soil is 18 kN per meter cube. Safe bearing capacity of soil is 200 kN per meter square. Take the coefficient of friction between concrete and soil as 0.6. The angle of repose is 30 degree. Use M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. So this one is the data given that you need to retain the height of the retained earth as 4 meter. So your retaining wall height must have more than 4 meter of height. The backfill is horizontal. Here it is mentioned the backfill is horizontal. because if your backfill is inclined, then your coefficient of active pressure equation will change. That's why this is the this statement is mentioned over here, that the backfill is horizontal. Then density of soil is given for the retained material, so that density is 18 kilonewton per meter cube. Then safe bearing capacity of soil on which your retaining wall is resting, that is 200 kilonewton per meter square, that is given by the geotechnical people. The coefficient of friction between concrete and soil is also given as 0.6. The angle of repose is 30° to calculate the active coefficient value. Use M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. Now for this condition, you are going to design for the cantilever retaining wall. The height is 4 meter. I am mentioning the height of the retained earth as h dash. So h dash is equal to 4 meter. Then safe bearing capacity is 200 kilonewton per meter square. Density is gamma 18 kilonewton per meter cube. Then friction is mu 0.6 and angle of repose is 30°. Phi is equal to 30°. For this data, you are going to design the cantilever retaining wall. So the very first part for the retaining wall design is to find the foundation, depth of foundation, or the retaining wall foundation. So that retaining wall foundation you can find from this equation. So depth of foundation equation, dF is equal to SBC divided by gamma 1 minus sin phi upon 1 plus sin phi whole square. This is the equation. From that you can get the depth of foundation value. So SBC is given, then phi is given, 1 minus sin phi, gamma is given, phi is given. So you can get the depth of footing over here. Now in this figure, this h dash is the height of the retained earth, right? Then df is the depth of footing. So once height of retained earth plus depth of footing, that will give the total height of retaining wall, capital H. So capital H is equal to h dash plus df. And this small h is mentioned over here is the height of retaining wall. Sorry, height of stem part only. Height of the stem part only. H is the height of stem part only. हाँ मासी हाँ. So h is the height of stem, right? So capital H, if you want to find total height of retaining wall, because 4 meter is the retained earth height, but your retaining wall must be more than 4 meter, because wall will go into the footing also and then the remaining part. So the capital H is equal to H plus DF, and put all this value, SBC 200, then 18, gamma is the 18, phi is the 30°. You will get depth of footing as 1.23 meter, considering as 1.2 meter. So height of the retaining wall is 4 is the retained earth plus 1.2 is the depth of footing. So 5.2 meter is the height for the retaining wall, total height of retaining wall. Total height of retaining wall is 5.2 meter. Now you are going to do cantilever retaining wall T shape. T shape is the retaining wall. Now you can design retaining wall like the stem member as the rectangle one. This also you can do, this type of T shape, or you can make your stem part trapezoidal this way. Both design is applicable for the T shape, right? The difference between this rectangle stem and this trapezoidal stem is, if you see the एक्टिव प्रेशर डायग्राम फॉर द स्टेम हाइट ओनली, स्टेम हाइट की अगर हम सिर्फ एक्टिव प्रेशर डायग्राम ड्रॉ करें तो ये है मेरा एक्टिव प्रेशर, क्योंकि ये जो सॉइल यहाँ पे है वो एक प्रेशर देगा स्टेम को, सो उसका डायग्राम मैंने यहाँ पे ड्रॉ किया. नाउ इफ यू हैव सीन that the active pressure diagram is maximum at the bottom, as soon as you are going towards the top side that will be minimum. ठीक है, तो ये यहाँ पे है मेरा K गामा इंटू H, स्मॉल h इज माई हाइट ऑफ स्टेम. तो यहाँ पे मेरा मोमेंट ज्यादा आएगा क्योंकि लोड ज्यादा है यहाँ पे. तो यहाँ पे ऑब्वियसली ये कैंटिलीवर है, स्टेम की डिजाइन अगर मुझे करनी है तो स्टेम इज बिहेव लाइक अ कैंटिलीवर. तो कैंटिलीवर मतलब यहाँ पे ये फिक्स है, ये जगह पे ये फिक्स है. तो मोमेंट कहाँ पे आएगा, कैंटिलीवर का मोमेंट जहाँ पे आपका फिक्स सपोर्ट है वहां पे मोमेंट आएगा. तो स्टेम का मोमेंट ये पॉइंट पे आएगा मेरा, ये पॉइंट पे. ठीक है, तो ये पॉइंट पे मोमेंट ज्यादा आएगा बिकॉज ये प्रेशर की वैल्यू यहाँ पे ज्यादा है. लेकिन एज सुन एज यू आर गोइंग टॉवर्ड्स द टॉप साइड द प्रेशर तो रिड्यूस हो रहा है. अगर प्रेशर रिड्यूस हो रहा है तो यहाँ इन बिटवीन की मोमेंट भी आपकी रिड्यूस होगी. इन बिटवीन यहाँ पे अगर मोमेंट करो तो यहाँ पे मोमेंट रिड्यूस होगा, यहाँ पे रिड्यूस होगा करके यहाँ पे जीरो मोमेंट आ जाएगा. तो the reason behind providing this trapezoidal stem no more compared to rectangle is, here if you provide the same cross section throughout the height that you are wasting your concrete. आप reinforcement concrete दोनों waste कर रहे हो because it is not required the full cross section throughout the height as the pressure value is getting reducing from bottom to top. बट यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, आपने ये ट्रेपेजोइडल क्रॉस सेक्शन डाला है बिकॉज यहाँ पे ये मैक्सिमम मोमेंट मिल रहा है तो आपने यहाँ पे उसका क्रॉस सेक्शन ज्यादा किया है. लेकिन जब जब आप ऊपर जा रहे हो तब आपका क्रॉस सेक्शन यू हैव रिड्यूस बिकॉज द प्रेशर इज गेटिंग रिड्यूस. तो यहाँ पे आपको जो मिल रहा है वो आपको मिल रहा है इकोनॉमिकल सेक्शन. यहाँ पे आपको मिल रहा है इकोनॉमिकल सेक्शन, बट हियर यू आर वेस्टिंग द कॉन्क्रीट, you are wasting the material. So the economical section for the stem is the trapezoidal one, but yes, if you want you can provide the rectangle also. So now we will do the trapezoidal section only. So this is our cantilever retaining wall, where this is the stem part, this one is the toe part, and this one is the heel part. Obviously the heel part width is more because here there will be the soil mass. यहाँ पे soil mass होगा heel पे, तो उसका width toe से ज्यादा होगा because this is the exposure part. So exposure part में आपका width ज्यादा नहीं होगा, right? So this is the case. Now अभी यहाँ पे you have your depth of the footing. तो इतना तो depth में चला जाएगा your this retaining wall. So this is your depth of footing. ये आपको यहाँ पे depth of footing मिल गया है. And retain earth height आपको यहाँ से मिल गई है. That is 4 मीटर आप यहाँ पे retain करोगे उसको. Then now which proportioning value you are going to find now onwards is कि ये stem part का what is the top width. ये आप width कितना लोगे. See this is the length view, यहाँ से ये length view है ऐसा, ठीक है. तो ये width कितना लोगे, that is the question. Then second is bottom width कितना लोगे. So that is the second one parameter that you are going to find. Then stem के लिए third क्या find करोगे, what is the height of the stem. तो आप height of the stem भी find करोगे, proportionate करोगे, right? So this is about the stem dimension, top width, bottom width and the height. तो वो आप डिसाइड करोगे. फिर टो के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा, फॉर बेस स्लैब के लिए व्हाट इज द टोटल विड्थ ऑफ बेस स्लैब, अगर इतना हाइट आपको रिटेन करना है तो उसके लिए बेस विड्थ कितना होना चाहिए, दैट ऑल्सो यू आर गोइंग टू फाइंड. फ्रॉम दिस टोटल what will be the width or the this length of the toe part, और यहाँ पे ये कितना होगा वो भी आप फाइंड करोगे. हील का लेंथ कितना होना चाहिए, टो का कितना होना चाहिए, दैट ऑल्सो यू आर गोइंग टू फाइंड. एंड यू आर गोइंग टू फाइंड व्हाट इज द थिकनेस ऑफ दिस बेस स्लैब, क्योंकि स्लैब है तो उसका थिकनेस आएगा. तो ये थिकनेस कितना होगा, ये थिकनेस कितना होगा, दैट यू आर गोइंग टू फाइंड. Right, so in proportioning all this data you are going to find, ये सब आपको find करना है. Then आपको check करना है that whether the stability analysis is okay or not, overturning, sliding, upliftment, that all are within the limit or not. If not then you are going to change the parameter. ये सब parameters आपको change करने पड़ेंगे. Right, that means this proportioning is the trial error method for the stability analysis. So for that condition, some thumb equations are given in book where you can get proportioning, you can get the value of this all parameters. So this is the proportioning of wall. Now what is that thumb equation or thumb rule? The thickness of base slab. Thickness of base slab means this thickness. Yeah. So this thickness of base slab range from 1/10 to 1/14 of capital H. So you will get one range. From that you can pick any of the value to start your stability analysis. That is the only thing. But if whatever is your the range value or whatever you have assumed, if it is not accepting by the stability analysis, you are going to do the trial error for that dimension itself. So 1/10 to 1/14 of capital H, our capital H is 5.2. So 1/10 of 5.2, so 0.52, and 1/14 of 5.2 is 0.43. Means you can assume any of this, any thickness of base slab from this range 0.52 to 0.43 meter. In between you can assume the value of thickness of base slab. So here I am assuming 450 mm, that is 0.45 meter as thickness of slab. So I am assuming 450 mm as thickness of slab. So now one parameter I have, and that parameter is that parameter is this thickness as 0.450 meter. So this is my 0.450 meter. Now if I have total height, if I have total height of retaining wall, so this total height of retaining wall I have is 5.2 meter. From this 5.2 meter, the stem base slab thickness is 0.450, so I can easily get the height of stem as 5.2 minus 0.450. So I am easily getting this value of or height of stem. So height of stem is 4.2 minus 0.450, so 4.75 meter. So this is 4.75 meter, my height of stem. So this dimension I have. Now second criteria is width of base slab. Width of base slab. So this width of base slab. So that is 0.5 to 0.6 of capital H. 0.5 to 0.6 of capital H. So that ranges are 2.6 to 3.12 meter. So you can take any of the intermediate value. So I am assuming 3 meter as width of the base slab. So I am assuming 3 meter as width of the base slab. So here I have 3 meter width of the base slab. Now coming to the toe projection. Now what is toe projection? Toe projection is 1/3 to 1/4 of the base slab width. 1/3 to 1/4 of the base slab width. So 1 meter to 0.75 meter. I have assumed the 0.75 meter as my 0.75 meter as my uh, toe dimension, toe width 0.75 meter. So this is 3 meter, this is 0.75 meter. So now coming to uh, rest of the dimension, other dimension is remaining as ये यहाँ पे बाकी है this 2 and ये heel का. तो अभी इसके लिए क्या करना है? See this top portion, ये this is the cantilever stem part. तो ये जो टॉप पोर्शन है, दिस टॉप पोर्शन मिनिमम यू कैन कंसीडर एज 200 mm. So this width you can consider as 200 mm, like a beam width. Minimum width of beam is 200 mm, so you can consider 200 mm. And about this part, there are two ways to find this width. स्टेम की ये विड्थ फाइंड करने का टू वेज है. देयर आर टू वेज. द फर्स्ट वन इज ओनली द अजम्पशन. डायरेक्ट अज्यूम कर दो. इफ दिस इज 200, डबल ले लो, 400 mm ले लो, 450 mm ले लो, 500 ले लो टू मेक द ट्रेपेजोइडल शेप. दिस इज द सिंपल वे, इज द अजम्पशन. उसके बाद फिर ट्रायल एरर करो अगर आपका स्टेबिलिटी चेक नहीं आता है तो. एंड the second one is that by the design of stem itself. मतलब ये स्टेम है, ठीक है. तो स्टेम में ये फिक्स पोर्शन है, ये जो लाइन है ये स्टेम के लिए फिक्स पार्ट है और ये फ्री पार्ट है. तो मोमेंट स्टेम में ये पॉइंट पे आएगा, ये डॉटेड लाइन पे यहाँ पे मोमेंट आएगा, मोमेंट इन स्टेम. तो सेकंड केस में क्या करना है? फर्स्ट तो आपने अजम्पशन कर दिया. सेकंड में क्या करना है? दैट यू आर डूइंग द डिजाइन ऑफ स्टेम. स्टेम का आप डिजाइन करो और एल्स स्टेम की मोमेंट फाइंड कर दो पहले. राइट. अभी मोमेंट कैसे मिलेगा? सपोज ये स्टेम है, स्टेम की हाइट मेरे पास है. So I can easily draw the active pressure diagram. यहाँ से मैं active pressure diagram draw कर लेती हूँ. So this is my active pressure diagram. And this is my K gamma into H. So I have this H value. मैं K find कर सकती हूँ. I have gamma, I have H. Then I can get this active pressure which will act at a distance of h by 3, small h by 3. So ये क्या होगा? ये जो प्रेशर की वैल्यू है ये यहाँ पे आएगी. मतलब दिस प्रेशर into this CG height will lead to the moment in the stem part. That's why तो moment आता है, इसलिए तो stem ऐसा डिफ्लेक्ट होता है. सो ये मोमेंट अगर मुझे फाइंड करना है, सो दिस मोमेंट विल बी माय एक्टिव प्रेशर इनटू CG डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द बेस ऑफ स्टेम विच इज h/3. सो आई कैन गेट द मोमेंट m की वैल्यू इन टर्म्स ऑफ किलो न्यूटन इनटू मीटर. उसके बाद फ्रॉम दिस टेकिंग दिस मोमेंट एज mu and you have the equation of compression, that is ये वाला equation 0.36 FCK B into XU into 1 minus 0.42 XU. ये equation लेके कुछ तो equation This equation meet the right. So this equation is from IS 456 annexure G, and in this equation put value of mu, value of FCK, then B as 1 meter, XU आप grade of steel से find करो and you will get the D value, and this D is nothing but your ये यहाँ का D का वैल्यू मिलेगा आपको, ये सेक्शन का, ये पोर्शन का, क्योंकि आपका स्टेम जो है ये ऐसा है, ठीक है, तो ये आपको यहाँ से उसका विड्थ मिल जाएगा. सो दिस इज द सेकंड वे टू फाइंड द width of this bottom part of your stem. ये यहाँ से इसका, ठीक है. So we will do both this part. First part will take directly assumption, and in second part we'll do this second exercise also. So whichever is convenient to you, you can use. So here I am assuming 450 mm thickness for the stem. I am assuming the first time assumption मैंने ले लिया है, तो मैंने considering the 450 mm thickness. So this is my 450 mm. So this is 450 mm, so 0.45 meter. So now I can get the heel part. मैं यहाँ पे heel का मुझे dimension मिल जाएगा. heel का dimension क्या होगा, 3 minus 0.75 toe का minus stem का ये 0.45, तो heel dimension is 1.8 मीटर. तो यहाँ पे मुझे 1.8 मीटर हील का मिल गया, एंड हियर आई हैव अज्यूम 200 mm. So now I have all the dimension of my proportioning wall. All the dimension I have for the proportioning wall, and after this I can go with the stability analysis.